And one more thing. So, this meeting was scheduled for 1 hour. So, if it is closed in between any of the time, so we can rejoin the same link. Okay. So, if it is needs to be extended. Okay. So, for today, I just want to give you a demonstration on what are the things that we are going to cover as a part of this training. And so some of the basic information on the cloud and DevOps tool stack and domain. Okay. So we are actually going to covering the topics of cloud DevOps. So the main intention and the focus is going to be on the DevOps side. As a part of the DevOps domain, we do work with some of the cloud services. Okay. So those services are we are going to cover as a part of the training sessions. So that including of the basic information, the theoretical information, and the practical real-time scenarios, and the interview questions. Okay, so we go with parallelly all these topics. So we will cover the theoretical sessions first, and going ahead with real-time practical hands-on experience onto the services and taking the interview questions, so which needs to be covered, and we sure most of the time like in the interview are going to be asking you. Okay, so we are going to offering the cloud DevOps, so especially the cloud that is Azure. So and so, let me go, yeah. So here we are going to covering the Azure as a cloud service provider. So when we considering the Azure, so there is a CI/CD tool or service that was offered by the Azure, that is Azure DevOps. So we are going to covering the Azure cloud and the Azure DevOps CI/CD tool. Okay. And so we planning for the interactive session, so it means like we will have the questions and answers, so maybe once we completed today's session, so in the next session I will ask the questions to you guys. So I just want to make it so interactive, so that will be good for both of us to make these sessions better. Okay, hoping that it is okay for you all. And I hope that so in between, like when we completed some of the modules in the training, we are good to attending the interviews. So as a part of that, so I can guide you with some of the questions and answers and how we can prepare for the interview. And so after these trainings also, you can contact me for any kind of interview supports. Like you have experienced some of the questions which you are not familiar. Okay. So you can ask me and I can guide you how you can answer in the interview. So it's mainly on the interview guidance part. Okay. So I can give you some of the questions and answers that related to each topic that we covered. So when we completed the topics, so I can share you the questions and answers, and sometime like if we have much time in the training, so we can also go ahead with the mock interviews. Okay. And these trainings are going to be uploaded into a YouTube channel. So I will share you the link after completion of this demo and some of the topics. Okay. And coming to the Azure cloud. So I hoping like cloud computing is generally nowadays like a trending terminology in the IT. So what is meant by cloud computing? So any one of you. So instead of the like this definition, okay. So I would like to hear from you. So any idea? So what exactly the need of the cloud here? Anyone? Mahesh, Venkat.
No, Agnikant, we don't have any idea
Okay.
regarding
Okay. So
this.
at least okay. So tell me one thing. So did you heard of the cloud, right? Recent days, like people are talking about
Yeah,
cloud,
yes,
Azure, AWS, IBM, right? So why only this
yes.
time? So why? So before, don't you think that? Before cloud, we don't have any software in place. We have, right? Then why only cloud? So why we need to adopt the cloud technology in nowadays? Okay. So basically,
Sorry, Nikant, sorry to cut you.
mm,
Can you give the like? Can you describe what is meant by cloud?
yeah, sure, sure. I'm going to. Yeah. Just want to understand like where are you? So where are we the people in the session? So that I can go into that level of explanation. That's the reason I'm asking you the questions. Okay. Okay. So the cloud is nothing but so hosting of the services at different places. So I can say simply I can say I mean without definition. So stand leave over the standard definitions. Okay. No one will ask you like what is cloud, what is cloud services. So no one will ask you. So it is mainly our for our understanding. So okay. So the cloud is nothing but so we hosting the services somewhere. We don't know. Somewhere. So that's it. But the cloud computing is nothing but so here if you see cloud and compute. So compute stands for the computer. So simply I can say a compute is a term that stands for the computer. So the same computer name, so which we call generally, right? So that can also be called as a instance. That can also be called as a server. Okay, that can also be called as a virtual mission. So, I mean mission. So if it is a virtual, then it's a virtual mission. So there is a little deviation so in all these terminologies or all these topics, but for now, just to treat a computing means a computer. Okay. So now coming to the cloud computing means, so if you open a cloud computing is nothing but so hosting of the compute services. Okay. Compute services in a different place somewhere. Okay. One second. Okay. So and so now that so before we have the laptops, we have the servers, we have the desktops and everything, right? Now tell me, so those are kind physically that we are able to access them. So we are able to touch them. Whereas the cloud computing is nothing but a computing is the resource that we are going to deliver, that we are going to utilize through the internet, through the internet, and which is offering by a cloud service provider. So, for example, you have your laptop with you right now, but the same laptop I can provide you from my location. So that's like how it's going to be by providing you a virtual mission to you, or by keeping a laptop in my place and providing the access to you through the internet. So when you have an internet, so you can able to connect to the laptop which is presenting in my location. So which will be available or which can be possible through the internet. So the cloud computing means hosting of the compute services, hosting of the compute services in a cloud or in a different location, different region, different data center, which can be accessed over the internet. And when you are the one who utilizing the cloud services, you will be a customer. So now the question is, who is going to provide you these services? So the provider who provides you these computing resources through the internet, he is going to be a cloud service provider. So there we have the AWS, Amazon Web Services, we have the Microsoft Azure, we have the Google Cloud Platform, we have the IBM Bluemix, we have the OpenStack and everything. See, simply a cloud computing is nothing but a computing resources and delivering them to the customer over the internet. The resource might be it might be a instance, It might be a virtual machine, it might be a server, it might be any other things, which all will be accessed over the internet. Those going to be a cloud computing services or cloud computing resources. Is it clear? So,
Yes.
to the more specific, okay, right now we have Azure, right now we have AWS, right now we have GCP. So, so it means like cloud computing is a new thing to the market. What do you think? Is it a new? So if you assume there is only Azure, there is only AWS, there is only GCP which came into market recently, and you assume these are the one which came recently, then you are on a wrong thinking, because you are using Gmail. You did not created the Gmail. You just utilizing the Gmail account and creating your own account by using the Gmail software. It means Google is providing you some kind of software, that is Gmail, and you utilizing that. So it means like Google is already started long back itself providing you some of the services. But that service is not a computing service, but that is kind of a some other service. Clear? So it means we have already started utilizing the cloud services on our day-to-day activities, but we are not knowing that. Okay. So you have Gmail, you have the Facebook, you have other applications, which are actually built by some other company, and you are utilizing them by having your own management, like you just giving your signing up your account with your personal Gmail, your mail ID and all, and you created that, and you are owning your account and utilizing that for your purpose. And one more thing, you have, so Mahesh, you said there is a data store in the cloud, right? Now tell me, now we have Azure AWS, and your data store will be applicable to that. So what about Gmail is already providing long back itself drives, right? So Google Drives we have, right? So Google Drive is also providing you some of the storage space. I believe there will be 15 GB space will be allowed for each account. That 15 GB space is hosted in a different location. You don't know. So whatever that you uploaded, that data where it's going to be, you believe that it will be in the in the Google Drive. But somewhere that Google Drive is supposed to be stored that information, right? You don't know. So it means like we already started using the services I mean the cloud services in our day-to-day activities. But when we are realizing that there are not only these kind of services, but also there are multi other functionalities can also be fulfilled with the cloud computing platforms. Okay, so you will come to know in the next sessions like why we are forgetting like this Gmail and the Google Draw, I mean Google Drives and all. So as a part of the cloud computing, why we are totally focusing on Azure, IBM nowadays. You will come to know. Okay. When we going ahead with different types of cloud computing resources, cloud computing services, then you will come to know like what exactly the difference between these. These are all terminologies. And similarly, so you have an application. So I can say simply DevOps is kind of a practice, I can say. So if you see the definition of the DevOps itself, like it's a combine. Okay. So when you look at the definition, like it's a combination of development and operations. So any one of you can say that what is meant by development here? Hi Ravi. So, don't mind, like, I just need the sessions to be interactive. So, if you don't know, like, you can say no. That is also okay for me. Okay. See, the main intention is, so I want the candidates to attend the interview. So, when you planning to attend the interview from your end, it is really needed to go ahead with. So, it's better to have an interactive sessions. Otherwise, it will not work for it, both of us. Okay. So, why? Because like why I ask you, DevOps related to, I mean, DevOps is a kind of a combination of development and operations. So most of the people thinks that development is dedicatedly for a coding part, but it is not related to a coding. Okay, it is totally an application development. I can say software development. So for example, you have an application, so you have an ICICI bank in place. Okay, so that software was built by some team. So the team means like there will be solution architects, there will be project managers, there will be development team, there will be a team that going to test the application, that is testing team. So there will be a team who actually deploying that. Deploy means so applying those changes into the environment. Okay, so there is a deployment team, so there will be a networking team, there will be a cloud team. So all these teams are there for an application ICICI bank. Now, when you referencing to dev in DevOps, okay, DevOps practice, so dev is related to a development of the application, not only the code. Okay, development of the application includes designing, software designing, code designing, testing, and environment creation, and all this together is mean the development of DevOps. So all these are a part of the development. That is the referencing by the DevOps practice. So that is all it is about. And what is meant by operations? So basically, so the general sense of the operation is also fixing something, right? So fixing of something and make that reliable. Uh, I mean, to make that healthy, so I can say. So similarly, this development part has done some application development. So they have built an ICICI. They have already built an ICICI application, ICICI bank application. Now that application is having some issues. So probably there will be a kind of a user experiences like the application is not running effectively. The application payments are not happening properly. So there will be a lot of issues are identified and reported from the customer, right? So those are all things needs to be fixed. So how those going to be? So that whatever the actions, whatever the things that we are going to perform to fix those issues, those are all will be a part of the operations. Okay. So the thing is, so DevOps is going to be dealing so DevOps is going to be deal a number of uh, tools and technologies that are available in the market, and that's going to utilize for a combine utilizing to combine the these development operations teams or activities together to make the software development more agile and reliable. So why it is needs to be combined? So those are different. Why DevOps needs to be taken into the environment? Why we need to apply the DevOps practices here? So basically, what happens, right? You writing the code and you testing the code and you applied that and you tested it well and it is working well in your environment. In your environment means so wherever the testing team is working and testing the application, they felt yes, it is working fine for them. And by believing, after believing their recommendations, deployment team or the other teams are taken that code and deployed onto the ICIC live environment. What is meant by live environment? So live environment is nothing but the product. We can also call it as a production environment, and we can also call it as a our real time. So whatever that we are able to see, ICICI login, net banking, right? So that is a production environment. That is a live environment. So after everything got tested, so after everything successfully tested in the tested environments by the company, by the service providers. So the same code was deployed into the production environment now. This production is having some issues. Now this is the place. So production environment is having some issue, but the same code is working in the test environment. And there it is reflecting all the changes. But in the production environment, it is not able to get all the changes, and still the production is not having effective performance, and keep on getting the alerting systems or keep on getting the notifications that some X user, some Y user reported that this ICICI website is not working properly. So there are keep on saying that there is keep on request coming from the end users. Now you can see a gap in between these two. So why the same code was developed and it is successfully tested in the tested environment, but it is not happening in the prod environment. So it means there is a little gap in between these two. So that is one type of gaps are experiencing in the software development lifecycle that can be overlapped or that can be removed with the practice or DevOps. And similarly, one more thing, you have a Flipkart application. Let's assume a Flipkart application. Flipkart application is hosted and you are able to use that application. So, have you ever experienced any kind of lag in the Flipkart especially when you have a billion days, big billion days kind of season? So, have you ever experienced any kind of lag? So most of the time you will not be experiencing because Flipkart is expecting that load and they react in such a way to avoid that lag. But when you go into the JNTU Anantapur applications or JNTU websites, and especially those JNTU websites will be all the time they function very well. But when we actually getting the results time, so most of the people, most of the people try to log into the JNTU websites and try to get the results of their academic year. So during that time, if you remember, so all the time, like in the internet also, the website is down. So website will be back in it in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We can try after 30 minutes, after 40 minutes, after 50 minutes. So this is regularly happening in the longer days. Like at least I have experienced this in the SSC results. I have experienced this in my BTech JNTU portals. So probably like these are all the things which have a load at certain time. So during that time, the people are logging to the application or logging to the JNTU portals, and all the people are logging at the same time. So the J2 application is not able to respond you back for all these requests coming to the JNTU portal. So that is one thing needs to be fixed from the service provider of a J2 application, right? So that is one thing that needs to be fixed. So that is the one reason DevOps in place. So similar to that. So that whatever that is experiencing now because of the high load on the JNTU portals, that is a part of the operations. There is no new code is going to be built in, but there is an operation is needed on the application which was already been built in. So this is the place the operations is having a little deviation from the development, And when you say like, so J into application is down, let's assume so J into application is down, but the same J into application is working in the test environment. So what happens like dev team will ask the testing team, we performed it very well from our end. And testing team is also going to say, yes, testing is also completed and we are able to see the application and it is working very effectively in the test environment. But the live environment is not up and the live environment is down. The website is down. So what they think, they doesn't know any idea of the what happens backend, what happened. So they blindly thinks that the code that has been delivered or developed by the development team is having some issue. That is the reason it is not able to make the application up. That is what they think. Until unless we identify the actual resource or actual issue, people will think that, right? So in order to identify that issue, in order to focus and getting that issue and elevate that to the entire environment or entire team that this is the issue. So this is what the reason the application is working fine in the test environments, but it is not working in the production environment. So to identify that too in a faster manner and for a better results, to make the application reliable. So to make all these things, so we are going to implementing or involving the a practice of DevOps. That is the purpose of the DevOps here. So I think so we can rejoin the call, maybe 30 minutes more. Okay, so you just rejoin the same link so we can continue for 30 minutes. Any doubts for now? So leave about like if you don't know environment, if